Ganga Prabhakar is the co-founder of a casual dining space in Bengaluru that follows a farm-to-table practice. The restaurant uses cage-free eggs, a farming practice that cuts down animal cruelty and also increases the quality of the eggs produced.
There is a noticeable difference, and with cage-free eggs, the texture is better, the yolk color is brighter, and the flavors are fresher. You can feel the vitality of the ingredients, and it cooks better, the flavors are fuller, and it adds to the overall experience of the dish.
Kana, Ganga Prabhakar's restaurant, has been using cage-free eggs since the very beginning.
Farming practices really contributes to the health and the well-being of the entire system. So the choice to use cage-free egg is something that's very natural. So it's not really. So it's something that we thought was critical to be part of. And it flows seamlessly to the philosophy that we have at Kana. If you have these hens in a stressful environment, it directly impacts the quality of eggs that we get.
While Ganga neatly picks out the eggs she serves at her restaurant, it makes us sit up and wonder, what's wrong with the eggs we are eating? India is the world's second largest egg producer globally. In 2023-24, it produced close to 143 billion eggs, but about 80% came from factory farms. Hens in these farms spend their entire lives in what is called battery cages. 4 to 8 hens are packed into a single cage, confined to a space smaller than an A4 sheet. This farming practice does not allow hens to practice their natural behavior, like pecking, dust bathing, roosting, or nesting. Further, because of the unhygienic conditions, there is a higher chance of infections that also affects the quality of the eggs we eat on a regular basis. However, there is a global shift toward cage-free eggs due to increased demand from conscious consumers and food corporations.
India currently, in its last report, had about 669 million birds which were used for laying eggs. And in this dystopian world that we've created for chicken, they don't have space to move, they don't even have ground beneath their feet, they're unable to stretch their legs, they're unable to open their wings, they're unable to lay eggs in a nest. This is a basic thing.
Cage-free and free-range farming practices are eco-friendly and animal cruelty-friendly practices of egg production. They ensure enough space for the birds to grow and allow them to practice their natural behavior. At the forefront of this shift is Happy Hens, India's first cage-free and free-range eggs company. What was started with just 2 farms in 2012 at Madurai has now grown to 12 farms across South India. Co-founder Manjunath Marappan explains what these mean in practice.
The basic requirement for a bird welfare, there are like 5 elements to it, like 5 basic requirements. First thing is a space for it to spread its wings and fly. Then it needs a nest box, because laying an egg is very, very personal and for a bird, for any bird for that matter. So which means that the bird needs a very cozy and a comfortable place for it, which is a nest box. Then they have perch. The bird's food is basically designed to hold on to a perch. So which means that we need perch. Then of course drinking water and sufficient food for it throughout the day. And then they need like these kind of they have some activities like they like to dust bathe themselves. So these are some of the requirements that a bird would require to lead a very natural lifestyle. So that is what is given in a cage-free environment. And with respect to free range, is the same thing, but they also get to access to the outdoor space.
Subarathanamma is a free-range egg farmer in the Basampalli village in Andhra Pradesh, about 220 kilometers from Bengaluru. She started her free-range farm around 7 months ago with Happy Hens, and it is now her only source of income as her husband is bedridden. Her backyard farm experience of raising hens helps her understand the importance of outdoor grazing for her 300 birds.
ఫస్ట్ స్టార్టింగ్లో తెచ్చినప్పుడు ఈ షెడ్లోనే ఉన్నదానికి బయట వదిలి మేపిన దానికి తేడా కనిపించినాయి కోళ్ళు. అందుకని బయట వదిలి ఫ్రీ రేంజ్లో వదిలి మేపుతున్నాము. అది నాకు ముందు మామూలు నాటుకోళ్ళు మేపే అలవాటు ఉంది కదా, బావి దగ్గర మేము మేపుకునేది. అప్పుడు అట్లా అవి ఉన్నదానికి ఇవి వెయిట్ పెరిగేదానికి తేడా కనిపించి బయట వదిలి మేపుతున్నాము.
Subratanamma is one amongst 15 farmers who are ensured a 100% buyback from Happy Hens. The company also facilitates training, certification, veterinary services, marketing and logistics. Additionally, Subratanamma was supported by the Gramasiri Cooperative, a local collective, to set up her free-range farm.
ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ వర్షాలు చాలా తక్కువ పడతాయి కాబట్టి ఆల్టర్నేటివ్గా ఇన్కమ్ ఉండాలి మెంబర్స్కి అనేది భూమి లేని వారితో నిరుపేదలతో చిన్న జీవాల పెంపకం చేస్తూ ఉంది. ఈ నాటుకోళ్ళ పెంపకం ద్వారా రైతులకి స్థిరమైన జీవనం, అంటే ఇప్పుడు చిన్న జీవాలు అనుకోండి కొన్ని రోజులు ఉంటాయి, కొన్ని రోజులు సీజనల్ వారీగా పోతాయి. ఇది మొత్తం ఒక గ్రామంలో చూడాలనుకుంటున్నాం. అంటే ఫస్ట్గా ఒకసారి ఇది చూసిన తర్వాత ఈ రైతులకి నిజంగా ఇన్కమ్ ఉందా లేదా అని. బసంపల్లిలోనే ఎందుకంటే వాతావరణం బాగుంది, వాటర్ బాగుంది, ఈ నేచురల్ అంతా బాగుందన్నమాట.
అమౌంట్ ఇంటి ఖర్చులకు మాత్రము నాకు వస్తుంది 300 కోళ్ళకి. అయితే అదే 250, 230, 200 అట్లా పెడుతున్నాయి గుడ్లు రోజుకి. ఇప్పుడు ఎండలు ఎక్కువ కాబట్టి కొంచెం తక్కువ పెడుతున్నాయి గుడ్లు. 190, 195, 200 అట్లా పెడుతున్నాయి గుడ్లు. అయినప్పటికీ మాకు ఇట్లా తక్కువ పెట్టినా కానీ మిగిలింది అమౌంట్ ఏమో డబ్బులైతే అన్నీ పోను ఇంటి ఖర్చులకి మాకు కట్టేసుకోవాలి.
Subratanamma spends around 7 hours every day on the farm caring for the hens and keeping up hygiene levels.
షెడ్లోకి వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు కాళ్ళు పొటాషియం పర్మాంగనేట్ నీళ్ళతో కడుక్కోవాలా. వేరే బయట అంతా తిరిగింటాం కాబట్టి ఈ చెప్పులకి ఏమైనా ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది. అది మళ్ళీ మనకి ఈ షెడ్ లేకపోతే కోళ్ళకి అట్లా వస్తుంది అని కడుక్కోవాలా అట్లా.
These free-range farmers regularly walk through the farm to monitor the birds, looking for any signs of vulnerability. They also rake the soil to turn the litter, helping to reduce moisture and allowing sunlight to naturally break down the fecal matter. In contrast, caged farm setups allow fecal matter to accumulate, leading to the buildup of toxic chemicals.
If you've seen the sheds in which these birds are housed, they're usually elevated structures with space beneath them. And if you look at this space, you'll usually see fecal material collecting beneath them. There is a strong odor in the air, which is primarily caused by ammonia and hydrogen sulfide. This chronic irritation from the strong smells can cause health problems. It also results in breeding of flies, which is a nuisance to the community in the area. And if you look at cage-free systems, for example, birds usually have access to litter material, which is a comfortable floor substrate where they can walk, they can stand, they can scratch, dust bathe, etc. And this very act of scratching and movement of the litter material aerates the fecal volume which is present and reduces the accumulation of these noxious chemicals that we are talking about right now.
India's Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act mandates humane treatment, but the lack of enforceable bans and phasing out policies on battery cages exposes a glaring gap. Happy Hens in 2021 sought to ensure proper SOPs that were certified under the US-based non-profit Certified Humane, a globally recognized organization that works towards improving the lives of farm animals in food production from birth through slaughter. While free-range farming offers significant benefits for animal welfare and the environment, it might not be a logistical proposition for everyone. Cage-free farming, on the other hand, allows for greater scalability, while still offering better welfare than conventional caged systems.
So for cage-free, primarily it's about 2.5 square feet per bird in the space like this. And with free range, we give about 40 square feet per bird in the range outside. So that defines like about an acre, it's 1,000 birds.
Prithviraj Srinivas was an economist for 22 years and has now started cage-free farming in Denkanikota, a village near Hosur in Tamil Nadu. The farm was started 7 months ago and now has around 8,000 birds and is a happy hens farm.
I think cage-free is you could say it's a middle ground between free range, which is the best and most optimal in terms of animal welfare, versus caged. The birds are given an environment where they can express their natural behaviors and instincts, and we can also sort of be assured in terms of production levels, because we are controlling a lot of the external factors which can impact the productivity. We purify the water, we also sort of check the pH levels and add acidifiers, etc., to make sure we come to optimal pH levels, and even if needed, certain probiotics, etc., or electrolytes are delivered, and even medicines are delivered through the water systems.
According to experts, apart from poor bird health indicators, caged egg poultry farms are known to contribute significantly to environmental pollution through surface runoffs and other channels.
Poultry waste is commonly also used as manure, and this is a byproduct way of increasing income for poultry facilities. However, excessive application of these has contaminated water bodies, since excessive manure application results in a runoff which can land up in your local water bodies. This will cause eutrophication, algal blooms, which will reduce the dissolved oxygen.
At Prithviraj's farm, this aspect is carefully dealt with on a daily basis.
Ammonia forms if the litter is wet. Now, one of the ways in which wetness can enter the litter is, if there is water that is coming, let's say through rain, or we have water lines where the water can spill onto the litter. Now, if you see here in the farm, we have these nipple drinkers. So the birds go and peck on those nipples and they get the amount of water they want. And we have cups at the bottom of those nipples so to capture that water so it doesn't fall on that litter.
Notwithstanding the benefits, shifting to cage-free farms comes with challenges: higher land requirements, costly infrastructure, and increased management expenses. A single cage-free egg can cost up to 25 rupees compared to just 6 to 7 rupees for a conventional white egg.
The conventional egg market, they produce about 40 crore eggs in a given day. Whereas cage-free or free range, it is just about very, very small numbers, like just a few lakhs in a given day. So obviously the cost of logistics for us is going to be significantly high compared to a conventional egg. So all these factors in the next coming years, I think we have taken up the challenge to cut down the cost or control the cost so that it could benefit the end consumer as well as the farmers also.
While consumers today are increasingly mindful of how their food is produced, awareness around ethical and sustainable egg farming is still limited. However, Manjunath remains optimistic.
The key challenge is actually bringing in awareness in the market about the way of farming and what difference does it make when a bird is reared in a more happier environment. Countries like Australia, UK, some of the countries in Europe like Netherlands and Germany, and of course parts of US have significantly shifted towards cage-free and free range. But having said that, India is not in a bad position. We might have started late, but we are picking up, and I think in less than a decade you will see a significant shift happening, and that's the challenge that we have taken.
Thanks for watching Eco India. If you like the story, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Scroll.in on YouTube.